So they kept us waiting, but finally the G7 Pro is here. Yes, arguably the most eagerly anticipated controller of the year is finally out, and I've been lucky enough to get my hands on one right now. I've actually got the Shadow Ember version right here. And in this video, I'm going to give my initial thoughts on what I think, what I like and what I don't like about the G7 Pro. Now I know what you're thinking, Gav, you usually do full-on video reviews, and don't worry, one of them will be coming in the coming week or so. But I feel just to get a video out, I'm going to give you my initial thoughts on the G7 Pro. And because I'm doing something a little bit different, I feel we should maybe do something a little bit different in this video. And I feel we should go for one of these things, which I see these YouTubers do every now and again, is go for a like goal. And I've never done it before, but I think we should go for around about 35 likes. I think we can smash that. Let's go for it, guys. Let's get on it. So anyway, diving into what I think initially about the G7 Pro. And the first thing you are greeted with is, of course, the packaging. It's the first thing you see in any controller. And this one has me quite impressed. Everything's well packaged, everything's good, everything's displayed well. So it's a good initial thoughts. So anyway, diving straight into the controller, and as you can see, this thing is stunning. It's got a lovely gradient from black to red, which I just think looks awesome. This is a Shadow Ember version, and I much prefer this to the white version. Let me know in the comments which one you've gone for, but I think this is the way to go. I think this one looks much better. We have micro switch buttons, which feel awesome. Nice and clickable, feel awesome. Same as the D-pad, also clickable. And we have some laser engraved grips here. Moving on to the back, and this is actually rubberized. Rubberized grips, just like the GameSir G7 SE and HE, I believe that one is too. Rubberized on the side and feel awesome. Exactly the same back buttons as your usual GameSir controllers, GameSir G7 controllers. If you are familiar with them, you'll know exactly what these are like. And we also have two toggles here, in case you don't want to use them, just to block them off, which is a great little addition. I like it. We also have a little dial here to change from Bluetooth or the dongle connection. Pretty standard, as well as the hair triggers. Now these are also lovely and clicky. They actually remind me so much of the Cyclone 2 triggers, although they have the latches right here, which just feels so much better, rather than being on the triggers like they are on the Cyclone 2. I'm also a fan, I'm also very happy to see that we have some textured grips along the edges of the triggers as well as the bumpers. I feel like it should be so easy for controller companies to do it, but it's surprising how many don't actually put grips on these. I just think it's the way to go. Why would you not? It's so easy, and it just makes it feel so much better. Also along the top, we also have some grooves here, which are actually so you can connect your phone to the controller with an attachment. It's nothing that I will ever do. Let me know again if that's something you do. I don't know why they do this in the controllers, but I guess it's to cater to the mass market, cater to everybody. So I am glad it's there, but nothing I'll use personally. Now, I'm sure you've noticed the two little extra bumper buttons along the top of the controller. Now, when this controller was first announced, a lot of people were disappointed that there wasn't 4 back paddles. Now, I can understand why people were a little bit disappointed, but for me, I'm so glad that this is the way that they have gone. When I first got my Wolverine V3, the first thing I noticed was how much I actually enjoyed the bumper buttons. It makes it so much easier to YY, so much easier to change the weapon. And if I'm being honest, the ones here actually feel so much better than the ones that are actually on the Wolverine. Sometimes when I was using my Wolverine V3, I did notice when I was going for the extra bumper buttons on the top, I found myself throwing a grenade or using an ability which I didn't mean to use, which so far from using this for a few days, I've never done that. I've not noticed that happening in my gameplay. They're also super clicky, the same as the face buttons and the triggers, and they also have a slight wiggle on them. I don't know if you can see. I'll try and get a video of it, but a nice little wiggle, which almost feels that you don't need to hit them perfectly to actuate the button, which is pretty cool. Now, a cool customization option, which I have noticed, is you can actually pop off the front of the controller as well as the D-pad and the sticks, and you are supplied a few extra D-pads with the package, which is awesome. There you go, see? Just pop them off, pops up nice and easy. And because this is a GameSir G7 controller, any faceplate you do have for your HE or your SE, anyone you might have had over the years, that'll work on this too, so that is awesome. So yeah, if you are familiar with the G7 controllers and you have used them before and you're wondering how this feels in hand, personally it feels identical. In terms of the size, everything's better, don't get me wrong. Everything does feel better, but it does feel the same in a weird way. It's the same, but better. Just what could you want for a pro version? But getting to the actual question of this video though, is this overhyped or has it been worth the wait? And personally, I feel it's a little bit of both. Don't get me wrong, of course this has been overhyped. It's been like a year and a half of people going on and on and on about this controller. I've done quite well on my channel actually making videos out of this. But yeah, it is overhyped in a way, but also worth the wait if that makes sense. I mean, this is exactly what I was expecting, exactly what I was wanting. But yeah, I don't think anything could live up to the hype, because let's be honest, I'm sure you'll agree it was pretty crazy. But yeah, this thing, I like it so far. Initial thoughts, good. Now remember, I will be doing a full review of this controller in the coming week or so, so remember to subscribe so you don't miss out. Now that's just about the video, but before we go, I was also lucky enough to be sent this little badge from GameSir, and it actually says for the first 1,000 players, so I must have been one of the first ones to pre-order the controller, which is pretty cool. I wonder where I was in the queue, but anyway, first 1,000 players to order the controller, so pretty cool. I knew I was keen, but I didn't know I was that keen. But anyway guys, that's the video. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to let me know in the comments below what you think about the G7 Pro. Which one are you going to pick up? You're going to pick up the white one, or are you going to pick up the Shadow Ember version I have right here? But yeah, that's the video. Thanks again for watching, and until the next time, I'll catch us.